I'm starting to think game journalists hate women. Wuchang Fallen Feathers finally releases and the reviews are mid. Game journalists are freaking out over a character who is bouncy in all the right places. I know, Guna. Let's talk about it. If you're anything like me, you've had your eye on Wuchang Fallen Feathers for quite a while now because of two very big reasons. The story and the combat. It's a Souls-like, and we like our Souls-likes here. Mind out of the gutter, guys, come on. But I was really excited for this one. Unfortunately, it was already labelled as Guna bait because the main character is an attractive woman. And this was before we saw the outfits or the jiggle physics. It found itself caught in the crosshairs of the culture war, with the effort to make women not look like women. You see the proof here with character models that look nothing like the people they were modelled after. Yet with that being pushed into the Western AAA games, gamers push back when they see games like this. It's just a woman that looks like a woman. That's it. Stop being weird. It really is this simple. It's got nothing to do with the outfits because I believe we didn't even know about all of that until recently. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the studio saw Stellar Blade's popularity and just thought, that right there, do that. It's that simple. It has resulted in very good sales because right now they are sitting at 100,000 on Steam alone. So all of those failures that I've called out this year, South of Midnight, Doom, Avowed, AC Shadows, all of these games were hindered by subscription services. Is that right? It's almost as if making a good game with an attractive character sells well, and I expect them to sell 1 million pretty soon. So with Wuchang caught in the crosshairs of the culture war, my expectations for game journalists were very, very, very low. These are, after all, paid reviewers who are professionals and should put their biases aside. Put aside their hatred for gamers and review their game fairly, so that casual gamers can get a solid understanding of the game they're considering of purchasing. Emphasis on casual. They have no influence on guys like us, right? They managed to take my expectations, throw them into the abyss, and tell me to hold their crayons. They got this. Guna approved. An uncomfortable and tasteless depiction of women running around in underwear. Guys, I already pre-ordered. No need to sell it on me anymore. The Guna approved guy had this to say. I had 2 bras and 3 pairs of panties to give you an idea of the Guna outfits you can deck her out in. Is it me, or is that sentence way creepier than just saying, she's hot and her outfits are kinda hot? Oh. Hi there. I didn't see you there because I was too busy inspecting my 2 bras and 3 pairs of panties to notice you. These are all things I can put on my main character. But you see, the bad thing about this game here is it's made for Gunas. Right. Sure. Yeah, that man's PC is not clean. He put Guna approved in negative and then put it in positive because the internet made fun of him. Clearly an attempt at getting attention, and it worked. The game devs deserve better than that petty comment. The only con he had, by the way. The gamer, however, had a terrible time with this game. Terrible. Shocking. Calling it unfair. Well, lucky for him, I've got some advice for him. Come in closer. No? Closer. Get good. Game journalists suck at games. Shocker. No, the juice here is his comments on the main character. Unfortunately, for all of its unique appeal, there is one increasingly common problem in the games industry that Wuchang suffers from, and that's a skeevy attitude towards women. Before the cries of woke gamers start flooded in, I'd like to preface that I'm able to enjoy games that cater to the male gaze. I like Stellar Blade. I'm a Marvel Rivals enjoyer. I acknowledge they very clearly have a place in the industry, whether I want them to or not. But Wuchang is not a game that should have partook if it wanted to tell a serious story. What is this guy even trying to say? Whoa! This game's attitude towards women is disgusting. You know, I tend to enjoy that disgusting attitude towards women myself, on occasion. But they have no place in this industry. Just say that you like it and that everyone around you is telling you that you shouldn't because that's the industry you're in. It's extremely distasteful to depict women going through untold horrors, only for you to find multiple armor sets that let you run around in their underwear. You can tell a story about the depravity of an invading army, as long as you treat barbaric acts with the required sensitivity. Throughout the game, you'll see women strung up, weeping in dark rooms with a sliver of a health bar, and one of the main story threads in the game revolves around an evil queen who kidnaps women to experiment on them in order to create the perfect bride for her son. Why would she do that? Why not just use Russian brides for you? I mean, that's what I plan to do. Just kidding. No, I'm going to be like the guy from Her very soon. Because women can't handle all of this. You didn't have to laugh, you know. Yeah, so the argument here is, well, how do I say, stupid. She's just put on their clothes. If putting them on bothers you, don't put them on. Would it also not apply to every piece of armor that the character is wearing? It's also weird that the armor just fits naturally, right? It's weird that you're wearing all of these dead people's clothes. It's not as if she's living out some weird degenerate fantasy by putting these clothes on. You know, like those crazy people who like to go where people are murdered and, well, yeah. The reviewer might have a degenerate fantasy though, huh? It would have been fine if Wuchang had treated this story with the gravity it deserved, but you can find the clothing of these women and read about how horribly they've suffered, only for the game to giggle as your character breasts boobily in those same clothes. It's just gross, and makes vast sections of the game feel uncomfortable to play through. You're making me uncomfortable with these words, bro. Now, the character doesn't actually giggle, he's implying that the game is making light of these serious situations. It's not. It's just clothes, man. There's no weird fetishizing going on here. Such a non-issue. They're just giving you added lore. It's dark to fit the world. Now, shut up and get a different job. Okay, the main event. PC Gamer. The gift that keeps on giving, PC Gamer, man. Well, they call this game a poor imitation of From Software's better games. Every Souls-like is just a poor imitation of what From Software does. You can't beat the kings at their own game. What a weird thing to say. Lies of P, while great, is no Elden Ring or Bloodborne, but I've got a not-so-sneaky feeling this isn't why he doesn't like the game. The only thing she actually suffers from is gradually losing her mind and memory as you play, which occasionally forces you to fight a demon version of her to get your stuff back. Otherwise, Wuchang seems to be doing fine. So fine that her body remains perfectly doll-like to dress up in clothes that have absolutely nothing to do with the game's gruesome version of China during the Ming Dynasty. Guys, what's with all the doll talk, man? It's weird, right? But there we go. The real reason why they have a problem with this game. I mean, if we're gonna go the realism route, it really makes no sense that people are turning into birds. Murderous birds. Actually, I think being able to put on male armor like it's nothing is actually taking me out of the whole experience. It just fits like a glove. Bro is mad, she's not uglier. Doll-like. It is true though, this character is the first character in history where a virus affects them differently to everyone else in the story. Never happened before. Ever. A lot of the gear you can wear barely covers her up and looks like it came from a premium cosmetics shop, which it will have on launch. That is tragic, isn't it? Yes, boys, there is in fact a shop. When I played it this morning, there was nothing in the shop, but it is there. I assume it's to sell extra skins. I don't like it. I don't like life service in single-player games. I will die on this hill. It's stupid and it needs to stop. The game is so unserious about this that the best armor for resisting a lethal status affliction had me running around in my underwear. Man. These reviewers are really hung up on the underwear, aren't they? Someone needs to check up on these guys, man. Who knows how much therapy they're gonna need to get through this difficult time. And you say this game has haunted you ever since. Yes, doctor. I can't eat. I can't sleep. Every time I see a woman, I just break down and cry. My God, man. What happened in this game? They made me play in the main character's underwear. What? That's awful. What game was this? Wuchang? Fallen Feathers? Right. Well, we're all out of time. Cancel every appointment I have today. Oh, and prepare the goon chair. Oh, but Mr. Oh no, the underwear is scary doesn't stop there. It's hard to feel the gravity of the situation as I wade through pools of blood and listen to the cries of people who have lost their friends and family to a horrifying disease when I'm playing a character designed to be eye candy. Part of what's so compelling about FromSoft's games is the imaginative ways they blend horror and humor in their worlds, like wearing a ridiculous mushroom outfit that gives you immunity to Scarlet Rot in Elden Ring. As absurd as some of the things in its games are, all of them are rooted in its fiction. Wuchang's world doesn't feel as deeply considered. This is where their biases on this subject really start to unravel, because you can't ever convince me that FromSoft's games are taken super seriously. You can also run around in your underwear in those games. Yeah. You can also be green and blue. You can look like an absolute freak. In fact, at one point, it used to be all the jokes people could make about FromSoft games. Haha, my character's green now. Please subscribe. I swear I'm funny. I don't understand how wearing a giant mushroom head whilst also being able to run around in your underwear, if you've got the balls for it. I don't understand how that's fine, but Wuchang giving you some more expressive outfits is a problem. Expressive. I like that word. Expressive. Stupid comparison by this guy. Underwear is too much. Mushroom head is peak seriousness with slight humor. Well, all of these guys' problems could be solved by just not wearing the armor sets. Unless they secretly want to look at the armor sets. Huh? maybe these journalists aren't gay. That would be the twist, wouldn't it? So I have come to the conclusion that these are all comments they've made based on the fact that the game is involved in the culture war. Their ideology tells them that this is wrong. People on the other side of the culture war like it, therefore we must hate it. But we don't actually have a reason to hate it. So let's make up some ridiculous argument as to why the depiction of women in this game is harmful. Huh? And this is why we don't take game journalists seriously. They are so bought into their far left ideology where doing weird stuff with a bear is revolutionary. But clothing that doesn't cover up every bit of this made-up woman, that's offensive. That's too far. Guarantee there will be plenty of women cosplaying this character, by the way. I think it makes these people really mad that game studios don't make these decisions as a political statement. They don't do it to push a narrative. They do it for the art. And when the market you're aiming for is mainly men, it's a no-brainer decision. It's not harmful to women. It's not disgusting. It's not immersion breaking. It's just a woman in clothes, sometimes not many clothes. I personally don't think there is anything more empowering than saving China in a bikini. Hey, men can't do that. I mean, they could, but they really shouldn't. So, let's take a look at this game myself. Glasses. What? No. Guys, it's summer. It's hot. It's hot. You're all disgusting. Anyway, I have played the game. So, some impressions for you. I played about 3 to 4 hours, and 1 hour of that was just trying to fix the frame rate. Yep, the performance is shocking on PC. Frame drops constantly. The typical Unreal Engine 5 stutters are here as well. Just the normal PC gaming experience. It's infuriating. This has got to stop, man. There has to be some sort of penalty for the nonchalant, oh well, treatment of PC gamers. They're releasing games in an almost unplayable state for full price. And it's unfair. Even with everything on low, it's still very demanding and it doesn't help much at all. Now, to be fair, the game studio has acknowledged it. They have said there will be a patch soon, and PC players will receive some in-game items as a sorry for it, which is good. They didn't go full Capcom. But it shouldn't be happening anyway. It really affected my feelings on the game. I was really frustrated. Fixed it. Cue the next day and they release a patch that stabilized it a little. Better, but it's not great. Lots of frame drops and stuttering still, but it's playable. When you get the right settings down, everything looks very good, and so does the game. The areas that I've seen so far all look incredible. One area reminds me of a certain town from a certain Dark Souls 1. The Chinese architecture and culture shines through, and you really feel like you're getting to experience a story and world from people who are proud of their culture. From the look of the weapons, to the outfits, to the environments, it really feels like they went all in with that, not worried whatsoever about trying to include things to pander to anyone. The outfits are fine. I've only seen a few, but they're really not worth pearl clutching over, and if you want to put more of the expressive clothing on, you're giving up an armor boost, so keep that in mind. You want to be a filthy degenerate, or do you want to survive? For the story, I can't say much on other than it's interesting. I've only played 5 hours or so right now. You wake up as this blank slate because you're infected with the feathering, which is a disease that turns people into murderous birds and takes your memories. But obviously, because we're the protagonists, we get to use the disease as a buff and do some cool magic. From what I gather, I feel like the story is going to be about finding out who this woman is and finding a cure. There's some interesting characters as vendors, and you also have side quests with them, though I do wish our protagonist had a little more personality. I'm kind of tired of the silent protagonist. I just feel like it could elevate the story so you would feel more connected to the protagonist. Plenty of enemy variety, each of them with their weaknesses. Some will be really weak to magic while others brush it off like it's nothing. The level design is very Dark Souls, which is great. I love Dark Souls level design. Not a bland open world, but well-designed side paths you can go down that lead you to bigger areas or items you can easily miss. As far as weapons go, there is plenty of variety. The way it works is you have subclasses like long swords, spears, one-handed swords, halberds, and you level up these by working through your skill tree, which is massive. This skill tree is everything. It's where you upgrade your weapons, and you don't upgrade a singular weapon. If you upgrade one-handed swords, all one-handed swords receive that +1 bonus, which is nice. It means when you pick up a sweet new weapon, you don't have to throw your controller across the room because you just spent all of your upgrade materials on something else. The skill tree is also where your stat upgrades are too, your abilities, your maximum potion increases, stamina. The skill tree is everything. The combat is awesome. It took me a minute for me to get used to. I was playing it too slow and methodical like how I'd play through a Dark Souls game, but this game had a mechanic called Skyborn Might. So if you time a perfect dodge correctly, you get a point of might. And then you can use that point on magic or your abilities. This mechanic really dials up the pace of the combat once you get used to it. It is meant to be used all the time, not something you use once in a fight. Once I got that into my head, the combat became much more fun. Focus on getting might and using it. I went for a magic build because in the early game they give you a bunch of spells spells and they do big damage, so I thought, you know what, I'll focus on that, and it's a lot of fun. There's also different kinds of magic, just like in Bloodborne. One issue with combat I had was hit detection felt a little off, like some weapons look as though they go further than they actually do. Once you get used to your weapon though, it's fine. Oh, and the combat animations are very nice, very cool. There is also a mechanic called madness, so when you die you build up your madness, you take more damage but you deal more damage, and that stacks 5 times I believe to max it out. If you die when it's maxed out, your souls drop where you died and is now defended by a hot demon version of you. Now this is important, do not get distracted by the hotness. She will kill you. I'm not sure how I feel about this mechanic so far. I feel like it could get annoying at points, but you can cleanse yourself of it or build it up if you're desperate to see the hot demon. You also equip 2 weapons, so your build has 2 weapons and you can switch between them seamlessly in combat doing a switch move. The builds for this game are gonna be insane. Lots of possibilities, lots of things to play with. There's a lot of different ways to customize your build. You have pendants, which is your Elden Ring rings. You also have your arm thing. I forgot what it's called, but that's your buff. Boss fights are easy so far. I feel like the levels are harder than the boss fights. They are not shy with the enemies. They will just litter some areas with them, and some of them hit hard and you can find yourself f***ed pretty quickly. They also do like to set traps. First time it's funny, 5th time go f*** yourself. I can't say it's hard. I've died a bunch, more than I did in Black Myth at around the same time of 5 hours in, but I feel like the difficulty with this game for me was learning the mechanics and how the game is supposed to be played, and it got so much easier once I learnt the mechanics, which seems to be the opposite of everyone else's experience. The majority of people are saying the game starts off easy, then hits you with a steep learning curve. Oh, and also playing while raging at the frame rate is not a good idea. Information tends to not quite sink in. I believe that's everything covered. Progression is the same as any Souls-like. So that's my thoughts so far. I'm not far into the game at all, can't really go into all that much detail. This is the first 5 hours impressions. I wish I had the time to blast through it all and make a review straight away for you, but this is the best I can do. Essentially, it's very Bloodborne with a dash of Black Myth. I'm not going to rate this one because I haven't played enough of it to do that, but I will say if you're into your Souls-likes, you're going to love this. I'm really loving it. The way it's going, it's set to be one of my favorites, maybe behind Expedition 33. No, definitely behind Expedition 33. It is very Souls-like, possibly the most Souls-like I've ever played. Anyway, that's me covering the journalist hating beautiful women again. So I'll see you in the next one.